Oxford from the inside. The good, the bad, but always the truth.
Okay. Well, hi everyone. I'm Juan. My pronouns are he, him, and welcome to episode 135 from Oxford from the Inside. The good, the bad, but always the truth. Today we're joined here by Rachel Fernandez. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so hi, my name's Rachel and my pronouns are she, her. I'm a second year studying law at St Hilda's College.
Perfect. Welcome to the show/podcast. So today we're going to be talking about lots of different topics and lots of different themes, including applications to law and general life here at Oxford from Rachel's perspective. So just to start off, if you could please tell us more about yourself and perhaps where you come from, Rachel.
Yeah, so I come from Surrey. I went to a state school. I went to a state school sixth form, which was pretty small. I think in the years before me, they used to maybe get like 2 people in. I think 3 was the best they'd done. So we weren't used to getting in a lot of people. But I had myself and a couple other girls who were applying, and we sort of went through the process together, and a few of us got in, which was really nice. And that's sort of where I am now.
Oh, no, that's amazing to hear. And well, I just had some more general questions about perhaps, it's clear that Oxford University takes diversity very seriously, and they've been increasing efforts to improve access from both state schools and underrepresented ethnic minorities. So could you please perhaps tell us more about your experience here at Oxford, coming from your own background?
Yeah, so I think firstly, there's obviously a lot still to be done. I think that's very clear. And I think the university is working very hard to improve that. I think what's really nice to see is every year with the cohort coming in, you can see the diversity coming in, even with the year below us and our year. And that's really nice to see. I think from my own experiences, so like I'm South Asian, and I think with that, there was a little bit of fear that, oh, am I going to stick out like a sore thumb kind of thing. I think since being here, it's been really nice that there's a lot of people like me, which has been a pleasant surprise. I think another really good thing has been the fact that there are so many societies that are sort of like culturally based, or there are also like religious societies depending on what you want to go through, and you can meet a lot of people from similar backgrounds kind of like you from those. So one of them is like India Soc, and they do so many different things, like they had Diwali celebrations, they have like movie nights, they have they have themed parties as well, and it's just a really nice place that you can meet other people from your background. I think generally, I think the main thing to take away is that it's been pleasantly surprising. So, I was a bit worried, but it's been better than I'd expected.
Oh, well, no, that's great to hear. And it's really interesting point that you made about the societies, kind of being able to bring this culture together and everyone who has the same background. And I know, for example, that these societies can also be quite good for other students from other backgrounds to appreciate that culture and appreciate that background too. Like, for example, I know that many societies do allow memberships from anyone from the university. So it's a really nice way to just know more about their history and more about their culture. So just getting more appreciation for everyone and the diversity here at the university, which I think is great. So thank you very much for that, Rachel. I think it's also quite hard for people outside of Oxford to know what life here in the university or like day-to-day really entails and what it looks like. So could you perhaps tell us what a typical day in the life for you looks like here as a law student?
Sure. I think for me, what's quite nice is there's a little bit more flexibility compared to like STEM subjects, for example, who have a lot of like timetabled labs or in-person things that they need to attend. For me, most of my stuff is done by reading lists. So I can redo them as and when I want, so long as I get them done by the deadline. So honestly, I don't really wake up that early. I mean, sometimes I could wake up at 8, sometimes I could wake up at 12. and I'll usually chill out at home for a bit. I'm living out currently, so I'm living with 6 other housemates, which is really fun. But I'll chill out at home for a bit, and then I might go into town, go to one of the libraries. I really like going to like the Bodleian. I really enjoy that. I think it makes me feel more academic. I feel like I'm more concentrated there.
I agree.
But I'll go into town, I'll do some work maybe, and then I'll like take a break, go grab some lunch with someone, go grab a coffee. The nice thing is you'll always bump into someone in town. So the chances of finding someone to go out for coffee with is very likely. And then I'll usually maybe like head back, make myself some dinner, and have a chill one really. I mean, I might go clubbing in the evenings or go down to the college bar to have a drink with some mates. It really depends on what everyone's doing, and sometimes I'll just watch Netflix and go to bed. So it could really be anything.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. And actually, with that in mind, I just wanted to note that there are a few myths that exist around Oxford, especially surrounding social life, because it's no doubt that the workload here for many of the degrees, or all degrees really, is going to be quite intense. So how have you found personally balancing kind of the social and academic life, especially with like a law workload?
Yeah. Well, I mean, law notoriously has quite a heavy workload. And I think that's something that definitely scared me before I came. I actually remember some people I know, when I got my offer, they said to me, "Are you sure you want to take it? Like, you're going to have no social life." And I remember thinking, oh God, what? Like, I've just got into a really good uni. Is it really going to be that bad? I think, again, with that, I cannot stress this enough. I always tell people, applying, there is a balance, and a balance can be found. It's all about how you manage your workload, how you balance your time. And I think it's knowing, when to say no. You don't want to spread yourself too thin. It can be really easy to sign yourself up to so many clubs, so many societies. And I'm involved in quite a few things, but I make sure I get my work done first, at least a good part of it. And then I will have time to go out clubbing in the evening. And I don't think it's too much of an issue so long as you can sort of plan ahead. So I literally have everything in a diary. It makes me very organized. But, if it means that I have to do quite a lot of work for 2 days before, I can take the next couple of days off, which is something I did. Like for my birthday week, I literally took the whole week off. Like I just literally did nothing apart from go to my tutes. Obviously I have to go to them. But what I did the week before was just really work to get all my stuff done. And then I had friends come up to visit me from home. I had family. It was really nice. But it meant that by managing that beforehand and planning it out, I could actually get it all done and have enough time to go out. And it really wasn't an issue at all.
Right. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. So it's really all about organization and time management, which I myself can also agree with. And well, we've already kind of touched on this, but are you part of any societies, or do you do any kind of extracurricular activities outside your degree that you think will be interesting?
Yeah. So, I mean, the first thing is there's so many societies on offer
So many.
at uni. Like, it's insane. I mean, there's Quidditch Society, which I always find a really funny one. There's literally everything. Personally, like, I've always really been into singing and music. So I'm part of the college choir, and another cool thing you can do is you can like audition. So I auditioned and I got a choral scholarship, which is really fun. So it's really nice that you can get involved on a college level. There's also like university-wide societies that you can do. There's like a cappella groups, for example, which are pretty cool. I think they're quite high profile. I think one of them actually performed at the premiere of Pitch Perfect.
What?
Which is the Oxford Bells.
That's crazy.
Apparently, which is pretty cool. So I'm involved in choir. I really enjoy that. We're currently practicing for our Christmas Carol concert, which is going to be really fun. And in terms of other societies, I like playing badminton, which is really fun. Luckily, I live literally right next to the sports centre in Oxford, so I can literally go across the road and play. But it's really nice because it's really casual. That's another good thing. So many of the sports teams, I mean, literally like all of them will have like a beginners group. There's also, if you want to be pro, go for it. They have that as well. But if you want to try something new, they have that, which is really good. And The other main thing that I'm involved on is I'm on committee for the Oxford Women in Law Society. And that's something that I'm really like passionate about. Obviously because I study law and I'm a woman, I really wanted to get involved with it, but it's really nice because we organize like loads of different events with different law firms, different chambers as well. And like we do social events, like drinks events and networking events. So that's really fun. And it's really nice because I've got to meet a lot of really interesting people through the society. I have like friends in loads of different years from completely different colleges who I just wouldn't have met if I wasn't involved, which is so nice. And like, it's nice that we work together on committee, but actually we're friends beyond that. And we meet up for coffee and stuff, which is really nice.
Oh, no, that's really, really good to hear. And it's always nice when students can make the most out of everything that there is in the university, I would say. So thank you for all of that. I think we can now move on to perhaps more focus on your law degree, because I think that would be quite important to discuss as well. So just to start off, what inspired you to study law, or what are some of your favorite things about studying law here as a degree or law at Oxford?
So the reason I picked law was basically because I was deciding between either history and politics as a joint honours, or law. I think there's a lot of overlap in terms of like the skills and the interests between them. But I ended up just going for law because it's not something that I'd studied before. And I thought in terms of, you know, there's also the practical side of things. It would give me the chance to, you know, then go on to qualify as a solicitor or a barrister. Obviously you can do that from any degree because you can just do the conversion course after you graduate. So, you know, anyone can. But for me, I thought I'd go straight into law. Mainly because one, I really like talking. Like that was very clear at school. I just really enjoyed like getting involved in debates and stuff like that. So that was definitely one of my skill sets. And also like essay writing, reading, you know, just sort of the essentials for law really. But in terms of interest, I think it was that sort of history / like political side of things, like combined, that really sort of drew me towards law. Yeah,
of course, that makes sense. Yeah, no, thank you for that. That makes a lot of sense. And I think it'll be quite useful to go through the application process that you had to go through, because I know there's quite a few stages that students have to go through before they even get the offer. Could you perhaps explain to us what that is for law?
Yeah, sure. So with law, you have to take the LNAT, so that's the Law National Aptitude Test or Admissions Test, one of the two. And you have to take that before you submit your, alongside your personal statement, basically. And because for Oxbridge, that deadline is a bit earlier, it's in like the second week of October, your LNAT will also have to be done before then. The good thing about the LNAT is that it's used for a lot of different unis, a lot of the Russell groups, I think. And so you only have to take it once and that score will be sent to all of them. So which is nice. You don't have to retake it for every single uni.
That's good.
So you do it once and then it's done, which is really good. But you have to take the LNAT. That's sort of the main like additional bit for law. And then you send in your personal statement as well. And then you find out about your interviews like late November. And then you have your interviews in like early December, and then you find out in Jan if you've got in. So yeah, with the LNAT, I think the main thing to note about it is that it's not fact recall, it's not fact-based. You're not expected to, you know, you don't get a book and you have to revise and then you regurgitate information. The whole point is that it's skills-based. And so preparing for it is mainly about practice and like looking at different techniques that you can use for the test, because, you know, there is no textbook that you can just revise from and then sort of bang it out that way. So that's kind of differentiates it to sort of whatever else you're doing, like your A-levels, for example. And another really important thing to know about the LNAT is like the uni will stress this so much, like Oxford loves to say this, that like, the application process is, it's looked at holistically. So the LNAT is not going to be the be all and end all if it doesn't go well for you. You know, you can have a below average LNAT score, but if your A-levels and GCSEs are amazing, or equally if your interview is really good, it all balances it up. So there are so many different things that they look at. So, the admissions test, it's not, I don't think it's helpful to stress too much about it, but I think practice is definitely the most important with that, because it's not like any of the other subjects you've done. And it's a whole new skill set that you sort of have to learn about.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And I think a lot of the information that you just gave there is going to be quite transferable to many other admissions tests, even not just for law, but I know for geography as well, which is my subject. We also had an admissions test, and a lot of the information you gave there is really important. So thank you very much. Now, we kind of briefly talked about interviews, or you mentioned interviews. Is there any quick fire advice that you can have perhaps for students or applicants that are perhaps a bit nervous about the interview stage?
Yeah, okay. So definitely think before you speak. You can just like take a pause, like just there'll be water on the table, just take a sip of that and just sort of give yourself a little time to think about the question, because I think so often we have a tendency to just ramble as soon as we hear something because we want to fill the silence, but so much of the time that's just not helpful. So just think about the question first and then speak. Other quick fire tips, just like literally narrate what you were thinking, because they really want to hear about the thought process behind your answer and not the final answer, because they're very open to the fact that like if your answer is wrong but the reasoning is there, like that shows a lot about how you work and like the way you think, and I think that's really important to the tutors. So yeah, make sure you're telling them, okay, well, from X and Y I have concluded Z, or okay, well, on what I know and from the facts that you've given me, I think that this is the case. And then they might jump in and be like, okay, well, actually, that's not too right. And then they'll look for you to change your answer. And so narrating your thought process will help them to like see where to jump in and where to bounce off your ideas.
Right. Yeah, no, thank you so much. And well, I think that kind of closes everything that we have to say about law. Remember, there is another episode that has been already published. I think it's about 3 episodes behind, and it's the personal statement. So if you would like more advice on personal statements, please make sure to check that one out. And just to finish off, I wanted to ask some quick fire ending questions that I think students might find quite entertaining to know more about Oxford. So first question is, does your college have any pets? And if so, what is their name?
Yeah, so St Hilda's has Teabag. She's our college cat. She's super cute. She's actually quite, I don't know if she likes me. It's quite Marmite, I think, with Teabag. Some people really get on with her. Clearly she has decided she doesn't like me because she always runs away from me when I try to stroke her. But that's okay. I won't take it personally. It's fine. No, she's really cute. She has a college an Instagram account as well, which is very fun.
What are you?
Yeah,
I know that for sure lots of different colleges as well have many of their own pets, which is always quite nice when you go past the Porter's Lodge, which is where all your letters will arrive and where you can go for any help. They're always hanging around there, which is always quite nice to see them. Now, my second question is, what's your favorite place to get food in Oxford?
Oh,
Because there are so many.
I know there's literally so many. That's like been really nice. There's so much choice. I think I might have to be really basic and say Itsu. Like, I think it's really good, really quick.
Yeah,
can't go wrong.
That's the job.
And it's brilliant. After that, they're like half price when they're closing.
Oh,
it's so nice. Yeah, so that's really good.
I have to agree. Sushi is incredible. And then just one last question. How did you find out about this podcast?
So actually, I listened to some of these when I was applying. So that was like, what, 2 years ago? I don't know. Yeah, so I listened to some of them. I was like, oh, this is pretty interesting. And here we are now. So.
Oh, well, that makes me really happy. It's incredible to see that, these podcasts do inspire and students do end up here. So it's amazing. So thank you for coming, and thank you for letting me interview you. All the information that you have given, I'm sure, will be very, very helpful for so many students from different subjects and for law especially. But yeah, that's all we have time for today. We've learned some really, really interesting stuff. So thank you so much again, Rachel, for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
with us and for joining us here at Oxford from the Inside. Also, thank you to our followers for listening to this podcast or watching this YouTube video. Remember to follow us on Instagram at Oxford from the Inside and check out our Facebook pages for regular updates on our new content. I hope you all stay safe and well. And until next time, bye. See ya.
Yeah.